Yep. Why am I? Phone call. Why I call myself in call. Call in call. Call ended. Is call ended? No, call is not ended. Let's see here. What the hell's going on? Use my YouTube. Okay. So, what does that mean? Alright, well, I don't know what's going on here. Apparently, I dialed my own phone number or something. And it's telling me that, I don't know. Let's see here. I don't know what to do. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? No, I don't want to stop streaming. Cancel. Oh. Anyway, so I guess my phone is going to be calling myself, or I'm going to be talking to myself for the next 45 minutes or so. What's up, Ashley? How we doing? On my way home, as usual, on a Friday afternoon. It's a free-for-all Friday. What are we talking about today, y'all? Anybody got any good ideas? Because I'm fresh out of ideas today. I do know that I have to go get some Go Juice here in a little bit. Let's see here. How am I going to do this? I brought it. Is everything okay? Just chilling? Okay. Everything look okay, Ashley? It's not like broken up or anything? I'm asking because it's raining here today. And the weather's been real nasty the last couple of days. Well, it started like yesterday afternoon, I guess. But it's been nasty all day long. Kind of dreary and wet. It's not cold, but it's chilly, you know what I mean? It's probably in the mid 50s or something like that, but it's really, when you're out in the cold or out in the breeze, it's really bad. Oh, it's raining here in South Carolina. Yeah, you must be getting some of that weather we had yesterday. That's what I'm guessing anyway. Yep, I don't know how to turn my phone off because, oh, damn it. Off. I don't know how to turn my phone off. It says it's disconnected, but then it keeps like, I don't know. It's my phone number though. This is the trip, y'all. So I went to do a video and then I hit a button and my freaking phone was sideways, right? So I hit whatever it was green. I was trying to bring it up to make it go back to the right way because I had like side vision going on. I can't be doing side vision. It's not raining. Oh, it's not raining in South Carolina. Okay. I read that wrong. I'm sorry. It's been a long week. Worked 46 hours this week. No, wait a minute. Is that right? Let's see here. Okay, so I worked 9 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I worked 10 yesterday. So 4 times 8 is 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. And then 9 today. So 46. Yeah, 46 hours this week, which isn't too bad. I'd like to work 50 hours or more a week every week, but the budget and the work capacity of the workload that we hope don't support that right now. Oh, so anyway, yeah. So I'm on my way home. I got to stop, get some Go Juice today. I got to go to the Costco, so you guys will have to bear with me because I'm going to be out of my car for a few minutes here in about 10 or 15 minutes. I'll be stopping to get some gas. I thought that I had plenty of fuel in this car. It says I got 52 miles until I need gas again, or I can go 52 miles, 50 miles now. But I parked my Trailblazer yesterday, so I thought, well, this car's better on gas. I'll just drive it tomorrow this weekend. No. So I'm going to have to stop and put gas in this car. I still don't know why my phone is on. That's just simply amazes me. How I could be using YouTube and my phone's on at the same time, and I don't know how to go out from the screen to get back to my phone so I can turn my phone off. So I guess I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I'll have a really long voice message. It'll probably fill up my voice message box because I'm sure my voice message is gonna come on. That's probably what I'm doing right now. I'm probably recording my voice message so I'll be able to hear myself once the video stops, you know. But just like clockwork, here we go. Anyway, so it's been an exciting week. Yeah, I did a video. What was the last video I did? Wednesday? I don't think I did yesterday. I was positive I did. Maybe I did. No, I didn't do one yesterday. Did I do a video yesterday, Ashley, or was that Wednesday? Or do you remember? I try to do one at least 3 days a week. For you people that are newcomers, I've only got one person watching me. It's probably Ashley, so I guess that's kind of pointless to explain that, right? Yeah. So what are we free for all about today? Hello, viewer. Nice to see you in there. Wednesday? Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. It's hot in here already. Yeah, this heater in this car will chase you out. Of course, now it turns on my steering wheel, my heated steering wheel, my heated seat as well. You know, when I get in, it's a little chilly out. It automatically starts warming everything up. It probably thinks I'm not even in the car yet. Lost my signal. What happened? I lost my one viewer. What that means. Oh, well, not sure what's going on here. My phone off. And it just calls me right back in. Call. Oh, there we go. Disconnecting. How about that? All I had to do was push a button inside my door. You're still there? It's not showing that I have any viewers, Ashley. I'm not sure what's going on. But I did get I think I've got my phone to disconnect. It says over here on my display, disconnecting. It doesn't mean it's done, it just means it's doing it, right? So like I said, I gotta go get some. What now? Low fuel, yeah, I know. Don't beat to me. I'm on my way to get something, stupid. Oh, I tell you what, this freaking car. I really don't like running it this low. I got less than the tank. And you're really not supposed to run these cars with the electronic fuel system. You're not supposed to run them past the tank low. And I think I'm about an eighth of the tank. It says I got 46 miles to go. I'm only about 2.5 miles away from the go-to store. Some people call it gasoline. I call it go-juice, because I'm just funny like that. And I have to go to Costco so I can get my 15. $2.79. That's your regular gas station right now. But I don't own a diesel car. It's $3.49 for diesel. And thank God I don't have a diesel car. I wouldn't be able to afford to drive, but diesels, I think you get better gas mileage than a diesel. A buddy of mine had a diesel. What was that? A Buick Regal, I think. Or it might have been an Olds Cutlass, one of the two. And it was a diesel, and he told me even with a V6, he got about 38 miles to the gallon on the highway. It's pretty good. I mean, considering it's a 6-cylinder, not a 4-cylinder. I think this is only a 3-cylinder. No, this is a 4-cylinder car. Well, I don't even know. I paid what? I paid a lot of money for this car. I don't even know how many cylinders it has. It's a 1.5 liter, so I'm guessing that's probably a 4-cylinder. That little Trailblazer I had with a red car was only a 3-cylinder car. You got terrible gas mileage, like on long trips, because it had a small tank in it. You know what I mean? I had to stop and fill it up, 5 or 6 times. Like when I was going to North Carolina and stuff, I would stop and fill it up 5 or 6 times. Well, not that many, probably 3 times. Not 5, I'm sorry. But, we did go on long trips, so I would, in the, like, round trip, I'd end up filling up about 10 times, basically, with all the extracurricular driving on vacation. But this one's been pretty good so far. I think when we went to Florida, we filled up 3 times, or something like that. Then from Florida to North Carolina, we filled up like 2 more times, something like that. Like once we got close to where we were going. Man, gas is so freaking expensive these days. It just drives me nuts. So when I started driving, gas was like $1.19 a gallon or something like that. It was freaking stupid, outrageously cheap. I could put $10 worth of gas in my Camaro that I had, and I could drive that Camaro all week back and forth to work, which is about 20 miles, and I would only spend about $10 or $15 putting gas in it, and that gas would last me all week. We don't have that luxury anymore. I mean, even with these fuel economic cars, it's hard. But anyway, okay, you guys hold on. I'll be back in a few minutes. I got to get some goat juice, and I'm going to keep the phone running while I'm gone. But you guys just hang tight. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, you guys don't go anywhere. I'm still around. Just hang loose. I'll be back. Ask if you see anybody else coming there, but I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, what's happening, y'all? I'm back. Now, I'm hoping that once I start the car back up, I won't lose my signal and it won't like blink you guys out or whatever. Sometimes it does that for some reason.
Oh, and it freaking calls my phone again.
Crazy.
I don't understand that. That's freaking nuts. All right. And $35 later, 13 and a half gallons. All right, now I gotta go over here and reset my tripometer. I don't know why I do that. I reset my tripometer, but I don't ever end call.
Yes.
End call.
And on.
Oh, Bobby. So, Ashley, you can still see me and hear me right? Are we good? I got 6 viewers. How about that? All right, y'all. I just got finished filling up. I gotta reset my tripometer here. Let's see. It says my last trip I went 76 miles, 27.7 miles to the gallon. I guess that's pretty good considering. That's just an average though. I've driven 11,481 miles and I get an average of like 28 miles a gallon. That's what it says. All right, tripometer, trip 1, reset trip 1. Yes, reset. All right, here we go. We are on our way. I should have cut my. It's telling me that it's ended. It's disconnecting. Call ended. Not provided. I guess it's going to call it back again. Hell, I don't know. This is the first time I've ever had this happen. I'm not really sure why it's doing this. But apparently it called my phone again. That's probably because I had that little situation earlier where I started a video and my video was sideways. So I stopped it and then I started doing it again. And I guess I hit the call button by mistake while I was doing it. Anyway. All right, Ashley, somebody comment something. Let me know if I'm working. It says I got 3 viewers, but now sometimes when I cut my car off and I restart it, for some reason I can't get any response from people. So you guys need to let me know. Is it working? Hello. Just put a test or something in there. Write something down. Like the video, something. Let me know that you guys are responding. Or that you see me or hear me or something. Hello, is there anybody in there? Just nod if you can hear me. No, you can't. I can't see you nod. What am I saying? Is there anyone at home? Come on down. I hear you feeling down. I can ease your pain. Get you on your feet again. Relax. I need some revelation first. Just a basic text. Can you show me where it hurts? All right. Let's see here. Wait, I'm not going to take any chances. That guy probably would have hit me in the side because he's switching lanes. I hate this intersection because there's 2 lanes here and people are going to be darting to get to that second lane, third lane across from me over there. And when you get 2 people going at one time, it gets kind of hairy. Ashley, baby, are you there? Type something. Somebody type something. Let me know I'm getting out. Yeah, I'm not going to take a chance. I gotta wait till it's a little bit clearer than that. Probably because damn traffic. Just a basic price. Can you show me where it is? There is no pain you want to see. Oh, I love turbo. You know, when the road is wet and my tires will spin. Yeah. There we go. Now I'm back out here. It bogged down on me. I don't know why. I hit the turbo. It was like, ugh. How was that happening? I guess you have to ease into it. You know, you can't just nail this freaking car. I like those cars that are real responsive. You know, like back in the 70s. I don't know. They made the good cars, you know, with the V8s, and they were carbureted. When you hit the gas, you just dump a bunch of fuel in it, it wouldn't bog down like these do. You know what I mean? It's freaking nuts the way these cars are now. Yeah, the black one with the wizard on it. That was that. I had an 80. What was that? 85, 84 Camaro. That was the one that had the wizard on it. The carburetor that came on, I took it off and put Rochester on it, and that one had a 305, I believe, in it. Man, that thing was fast. I mean, compared to some of the cars back then, it really wasn't that fast, but it was responsive and it was really fast until I crashed it. So I was on Highway 601 South, going from Monroe, North Carolina to Pageland, South Carolina, and that was actually that was when we were bringing you home from the hospital when that happened. Or you hadn't been out long, maybe a couple of days. Anyway, I had my stepson in the back seat, and I had the baby behind my seat, and then my ex-wife was over in the passenger seat. So I'm going down 601, and I just crossed the South Carolina line, and this girl in a blue Camaro in front of me, like, pulled off the road and slowed down, and there was a truck behind her, and there was a Nissan Altima behind him, and she darted back out the road. Well, the truck had no choice but to lock down his brakes and almost hit her, but the girl in the Nissan that was behind him hit him, and then I had taken my eyes off the road for a split second, and I drove that Camaro right up underneath the ass of that Nissan Altima. So, dude, I was so freaking pissed off. Anyway, my ex-wife didn't have her seatbelt on, and her head hit the windshield. She was fucking bleeding like a stuck pig, and my stepson he was in the back in the middle, and he ended up in between the seats up by the gear shift to the floor, and then the baby flipped over sideways and was down between the back seat and my seat. And you know, my ex-wife's all freaking out and shit, and I'm like, and the first thing I thought of was, oh my God, my car, you know, because I mean, you know, when you're young and you have hot rod cars, you have a tendency to develop like a relationship with them, right? And I had developed a relationship with my Camaro, and well, as it turns out, the car was totaled. There was nothing we could do to save it. The hood was gone. Both of the front quarter panels were bent. Both of the headlights were busted. All of the plastic across the front was busted, and we got something going on up here on what this is. Oh, it's on the side there. I got police all over the place up here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not. Maybe it's somebody running down. That might be what it is. Anyway, I'm not going to turn the camera around. It's this thing, it isn't designed for me to be able to do that. Oh, yeah, somebody broke down. Anyway, So I was working for a guy part time that owned a junkyard. And he had a record service with Zeb Myers Towing in Monroe, North Carolina. So this happened on Friday. So Saturday, I went to Zeb's shop and I was like, "Hey Zeb, this is the deal. Can you come tow my car and then put me in something?" So he came and towed my car and put it on his lot, and then he put me in what was that? It was 1970, 78 or 79. Olds something. I think it was Olds Cutlass, I believe. And it was this thing like a real ugly green color, and the seats were like brown. Oh God, it was a nasty looking car. And I drove that thing for about 2 or 3 weeks, and the transmission was slipping real bad in it. And I was like, "Hey Zeb, can you hook me up with a different car?" So he put me in a 1982 Buick Regal Limited Classic. And that car was freaking hot. It was white and kind of like champagne interior. There was a 2-door, because they didn't make Buick Regals in a 4-door until later on. And that was a really nice car. Well, it needed motor mounts. So I put motor mounts and a transmission mount in it one day in the freezing cold. I told Zeb, "Look, Zeb, I'm going to work on this car." And he's like, "Oh man, don't do that. It's too cold out. You're going to get sick." And I'm like, "Dude, it needs to be done." So I had a buddy that lived between Zeb Myers' shop and where I was going, which was Pageland, South Carolina. And he had tools and everything. So I stopped there, and I bet you it was probably like 25 degrees outside that day. And I was up underneath this Buick Regal, changing out the freaking motor mounts and transmission mount in it. It took about 2 hours. My hands were freaking cold. I could barely move. My fingers were so cold. Like now where I live, it's cold here, but it's a different kind of cold than the Carolinas. I can't really. It's more of like it's more of a dry cold there, whereas it's like a wet cold here, like a humid cold. But anyway, so it was hot in here. Zeb got all pissed off and been out of shape at me about it. And then the next weekend, I was supposed to go help him move some stuff around the junkyard. I drove like an outside forklift over there, and he had some cars that wanted to get moved and stacked, and then he had some tires and rims he wanted to go through. And they had this tire thing where you would, it was almost like a log splitter. You put the rim in it, right, and it would break the rim down, but the tire would stay. And you could take the tire and rim and just pull it apart like that. So this was how he made, he took all the rims and made like money from scrap metal, but then he sold the rubber from the tires to a company to be recycled. So they recycle tires. And basically all they do is they shred them down, and then they melt the tar and everything down, and then they recycle the tar or rubber, whatever tires are made out of. And then, but I didn't show up that day. My ex-wife's mom was one of these, I got to be first type people. So I had taken that, I took that day, I called Zeb, I was like, "Zeb, I can't come, man. I got to take my mother-in-law." I forget where it was. She had to go we lived in Pageland, South Carolina, but she had to go all the way to Charlotte, which was about 50 miles or so, to get medication from this one particular place, because that's who she had had set up her medications with at the hospital or whatever, the doctor's office. And she was out of medication, so we had to go there. And anyway, I went ahead and worked my regular shift all week. Well, I went to Zeb's the next weekend, and I was like, "Hey Zeb, man, I need a radio for this car." And he's like, "Well, you can, kind of look around out there and see what we got." Well, there was this guy Danny that worked there too, and Danny had a few radios that were sitting on the bench, and he was like, "Well, go ahead and help yourself." So I got one of the radios and put it in this car, and I'll be damned if I didn't pick the one that Danny wanted. So he got all pissed off and bent out of shape at me about it. And but I went ahead and worked that day, and then I guess like the next time I went over there, Zeb saw that radio in my car, and he didn't ask me nothing about it or anything. He put he blocked the car in so that I couldn't take it anywhere. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, well, Danny wanted that radio, and I kind of feel like you stole it. And I said, well, I asked for it, and I asked for the freaking radio. It's not like I didn't take it, I didn't take it without your permission. But him and Danny grew up together, and they were like the best buds and all this shit. And apparently Danny told him that, he told me not to take that particular radio, and I did anyway. So Zeb took my car. So that was really fucked. This is like a month and a half after I wrecked my Camaro that this happened. And I didn't have a car, so I don't even remember what kind of car I had after that. I think it was, that may have been when I bought that black Camaro. No, I take that back. There was a 77 Chevy Malibu that had a 250 straight six in it. And it had like a half on the top. It was like burnt gold color, and it had dark tan interior. And it was at this place. It was called State Line Auto Sales. It was right on the border of North and South Carolina. And the guy that owned the place, I had made friends with him. I'd done some mechanic work there a couple of times and fixing some shit. And so I bought that car. I paid like $700 for this car, right? It was a trade-in he got, and it was kind of dirty and nasty inside when I got it, but I cleaned it up really nice and everything. And I ended up having to tear the other half of it, like the vinyl roof. Only came like halfway on the car. It was like half vinyl and half paint, right? And so I ended up having to take that vinyl roof off because and like in the seam where there's like a strip across the middle, it come loose and it was flapping into the end like this and starting to tear. So I went ahead and took it off. There was a lot of rust and shit up underneath it, and I ended up sanding it down in a couple of spots and putting some Bondo and then primer on it and stuff like that. But man, that was a good car. I drove that car for like almost 2 years, and then I got the black Camaro while I had the Malibu. And I bought it from the same guy. And that black Camaro was like it was like an 83 or an 85, and it was an IROC Z. No, it was just it was the Camaro Sport maybe. Anyway, it had a 305 in it. It wasn't like super fast or anything, but it was a pretty car. And whoever owned it before me, I'm guessing they bought it. It was Rory's Auto Sales. They bought it from an auction, I think. And so whoever owned it before me, the girl's name was Crystal, and Crystal's name was airbrushed on the hood, and then behind her it had like a picture of Stonehenge, right? And then it had a wizard kneeling down with a crystal ball like this. It had lightning coming off of it, like going up into the sky and shit. It was like the coolest thing. And people like that painting so much on that hood. I had people offer me money for that car. I was like, nope, not selling it, sorry. And then I drove that car for a long time. Well, not long after I got it. Now this is wintertime, mind you. Not long after I got it, it had power windows in it, and the power window on the driver's side went out. Well, there was a Chevrolet dealership about 3 or 4 miles on the South Carolina side, near Pageland, South Carolina, and I ended up having to take it there to have it fixed. So I got up one morning, it was snowing. So here I am, it's snowing outside, it's cold as hell. This window is about halfway down because it won't go up all the way. And I drove that car up to the dealership. Well, hell, by the time I got there, was a pile of snow in the back seat. It was the funniest thing. And anyway, I went to the Chevrolet place, and because I had made an appointment, and it cost me like $125 to get that thing fixed. Now that's back then that was expensive back then. I mean, I guess in comparison to pricing and stuff, it's even more expensive now. But it was just kind of ironic how it happened. But I drove that car for probably two years maybe, and my ex-wife went out writing bad checks one time, and ended up getting put in jail. So I had to sell that car for like $900 in order to get my ex-wife out of jail. I lost a lot of good shit because of her. I mean, I'm not going to get into that, but and then I had what kind of car was that I had next? It was a did I have a Chevy Celebrity after that? No, I had a Valiant, a 1973 Plymouth Valiant, and it was ugly. Well, it wasn't ugly to everybody, to me, but it was ugly to everybody else. It was kind of a tan color, had brown interior. It was a 4-door, but it had a 318 police interceptor in it, and man, that car was fast. Well, I got a wild hair up my ass because there was a little bit of a shake in the motor, and I couldn't get rid of the shake. I tried changing plugs, that didn't work. I tried changing the plug wires, that didn't work. And somebody told me, said, "Hey man, it might be a bent valve. You may have a bent valve in that motor." And I noticed there was a little bit of a tick in the motor, and so I ended up going to a junkyard. I bought a set of heads off of a Chrysler 300 that had the 318 in it, and I had the heads reworked, had new springs, put in new valves, new rocker arms and all that good shit, and got it all back together. And a buddy of mine came over to help me put the exhaust back up. Well, when we put the exhaust back on, we forgot to put the fucking donuts in. There's a donut. Back on those days, you had your exhaust manifold, right? And then at the bottom, you had 2 bolts that stuck out like this. And then your exhaust went on. And then the 2 bolts, you tighten those down and it tightened them. But there was a gasket that was supposed to go in there. It was made out of like asbestos or something, but it was just a donut ring. We forgot to put the donut rings in, so I had a bad exhaust leak, and I mean, you could hear me coming from a mile away. It almost sounded like I didn't have mufflers on the car or whatever, like it was straight pipe or something. You guys ever been to a racetrack or NASCAR or something as loud as those were? That's how loud my car was. But anyway, so that was just a little bit about history about cars with me. I've had quite a few cars over the years. It's really funny how, I can go back and remember each car and think. Mega Meat, what's up, man? Dude, where you been? I've been waiting on you to come back. I said, matter of fact, I think I was talking about you just the other day. I was talking about some people that drop in on me from time to time, and was sitting in my driveway. I had somebody walk by my car. I guess they're trying to deliver a package somewhere. But I was talking about you just the other day and how I got the name Lebowski. You know, I went on my Instagram, and I'm known as Me Lebowski over there now, and that's thanks to you. But yeah, I've been talking some about like cars that I've owned over the years. I went over. It was like a 78 or 79 Olds Cutlass, and then I had a 81 Buick Regal, and then I had a 76 Chevy Malibu, and then I had an 80. It's either an 83 or 85 Camaro. And I was just telling kind of the story about how it led from from car to car and stuff like that today. But I'm actually getting ready to get off of this thing. I got off a little earlier today. I've been getting off around 4:30 because I've been trying to work a lot of overtime and stuff like that. So you'll have to catch me another time. My daughter's Ashley. Are you still in there? She hasn't said anything in a while. She usually is pretty good about texting me and stuff. Yeah, I love you. Have a good day. Good rest of your day. Okay, baby, I will. My car's been passed around more than most of my exes. They tend to get jealous. Yeah, I hear you. I've had some really nice cars over the years, man. I back when I was younger, I liked like the muscle cars, So I've had like I don't know. I had like a 73 Nova, and I had a 72 Olds Cutlass 442. I had a 76 Gold Edition Camaro that was that car was numbered. It was like 565 of like 10,000 or something like that. And it was the Z28 Camaro. It was a Gold Edition, and then I had nice Novas of decent cars. Yeah, this was a 73. I actually I talked about one of the cars. What's my favorite Buick? If I could own one, I'd love to have a Grand National. My Oldsmobile, probably the Cutlass 442 was probably my favorite Oldsmobile car. But that's only because I had the 442, and then I had a 73 that was it was a two-door, but it was red. It was just a sedan. Buick Riviera. I had one of those. I had a 455 in it. Yeah, man, you stomp that car and it would freaking just smoke the back tires for sure. I think it was what was it, a 70? It was like a 73 or 74 Buick Riviera. Yeah, they are. They're beautiful cars. They're big freaking motorboats though. But the one I had the rear window that was rounded and then came to a point in the back. You know what I'm talking about? And it was like this really ugly. It was like a dark green color. Boots on the road. Yeah, no kidding. That's what I'm talking about. But then I had a Cavalier. I was thinking it was an 85 Cavalier. It was a four-door. It had, those are the ones with the square front end on them. That was a nice little car. I paid like $700 for it. And, I had an 03 Cavalier that my dad gave me for my birthday one year. I put 240,000 miles on that thing. You've been looking to get into a Land Cruiser or an old-fashioned Model Ford or old pickup? No, I was never into the VW thing. I've driven them before, but I've never owned one. I had a buddy that had a Bug, and every once in a while he'd let me drive it and borrow it, like to go to the store or something. He lived next door. Like between cars, when I didn't have a car, it's good to have a neighbor, and he would let me take it to the store and back. But no, I never really got into that thing. I think my absolute most favorite car was probably I would say I had a 1969 Plymouth Valiant. It was a two-door sport coupe that had the 225 slant six in it with the two-barrel carburetor. And man, to only be a straight six, it was a slant six, you know, the 225. That's probably one of the toughest motors ever built. And it was black on top and then silver on bottom. And I had a great big Grateful Dead sticker in the back window, and I called it the Deadmobile. And like I said, it was a four-door. It was a party car, man. We used to pile like, you know, 7 or 8 people in that thing. We'd go to the freaking, I have to say, original Hondas were badass. Yeah, a buddy of mine had a 73 Honda Civic, the little white ones, you know, that look like a roller skate. That was a party car, man. That one had like it had a 4-speed in the floor, and that was his first car. That was what he learned how to drive in. That was a pretty cool little car. And then I've had a couple of trucks along the way. I had a 2017 Chevy Silverado, and then I had a 79 Jerry Bear and Terrapin Station Turtle Tat on my arm. All right, cool. I had a 79 C10 pickup truck. It had a 350 in it. Somebody had taken the gear shift out of the column and put it in the floor, so it had a slapstick in the floor. That was pretty cool. It had a Muncie 4-speed in it. That thing was pretty badass. And I was talking about my Camaros. I had a 76 Type LT. I had a 76 Gold Edition, and then it was either 83 or 85 Z28. And then I bought another one. It was a Z28. It was like an 81 or 82, but I had nothing but problems out of it. Mini Jeep converting into original parts to more durable parts. Yeah, those older Jeeps. The Willis Jeeps are really cool. You know, but those things are classic now. You can't pick those up cheap anymore. You know what I mean? If you're going to get one of those old Willis Jeeps, you're going to pay through the nose for it. But my neighbor's got a Grand Cherokee or a Cherokee. Let's see, is that a Grand Cherokee? Yeah, my neighbor over here has got a Grand Cherokee. Yeah, it's hard to find the old classic cars anymore that, you know, because like nowadays when people get classic cars, they like to preserve them, you know, like recondition them, and then they do car shows and shit. You know, I love going to car shows, man, and seeing a lot of the old muscle cars and shit. You know, these kids today, you know, that are into all these old sports cars, little Hondas and Toyotas and stuff, man, they don't know how cool the old cars was. You want a MASH original Jeep? Well, that's a Willis, isn't it? Aren't those the Willis Jeeps? Those are pretty cool, you know. The problem too with those is a lot of them are rusted out, and like especially up north, you know, because they get a lot of snow and ice up there, so it's hard to find them without rust in them. And every once in a great while, you can run across one that's in really good shape. There's a place and you can look it up on the internet. It's called Staughton, Stauton, Classic Cars or something like that, or Classic Cars. Yeah, Staughton Classic Cars. It's over in Staughton, Illinois, and they sell a lot of those old cars like that. Rust is easy to fix with vinegar. Never heard that before. That's interesting. I had no idea. You know, usually you just take one of those asbestos pads and just take it back down to bare metal if it's not rusted all the way through. And that's the problem with me living where I'm at, is because a lot of the cars that are here, you know, people don't take care of them. And usually the window or the wheel wells and like along the running boards on the bottoms are all eat up from rust. You know, you're supposed to really, when you go to the car wash, especially after like ice and snow, you really should be washing those, you know, like the underneath of get the undercarriage wash. Get a rusty nail, leave it in apple cider vinegar. It'll take the rust off. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Wow. And to think I used to drink apple cider vinegar to get rid of heartburn. That's interesting. Wow. Very cool. So how's things out there in California these days? Pretty good? You enjoying the sunshine? Or is this a bad season? I heard you guys got some rain in Southern California. They were talking about it. What was it this morning on the radio? Uh, Jose Mangan. No, I'm sorry, that's not his name. Dangerous Darren from Hair Nation on XM Radio was talking about it being unusually wet early in the year or something like that. It's less crowded. We have rain, but the weather is still decent. Okay. It's been cold and rainy here the last couple of days in Missouri, where I am. What's up with this? My car has decided to dial my phone, and it I had to cut it off and get started. I guess it dialed my number again. So I'm talking to myself. But yeah, it's still in it's like 55 degrees right now, but it's been kind of breezy and overcast and ick the last couple of days. You also been going live yourself. It may be great to have you join me on a live feed one time. But well, yeah, we could probably do that sometime if you just maybe, I don't know if you can leave a message like in my comments somewhere and let me know when you're going to be on, because I get notifications, when people, like if they comment on my live videos. So if you want to do that, we could probably do that sometime. I'm going to be busy this evening, so today's not a good day. And all right, Ashley, tell Trey I said hello. And none of that hanky-panky stuff. You know what I'm talking about. I don't need to go over that again, do I? On your post on your channel. Yeah, just post it on my channel, Megameat, and it'll give me a notification. Maybe we can do it like tomorrow. When you have time, Mr. Lebowski. Like tomorrow evening. Do I have anything going on tomorrow? Let's see, tomorrow. I'm not really sure I have anything going on for sure. I know Sunday I've got to go to a buddy of mine's. Yeah. Okay, tell him I said hello. Tomorrow I have to go or not tomorrow, Sunday. I'm going in the afternoon. I've got to put some can lights in a buddy of mine's house. I put a ceiling fan in for him last week and ran a switch leg for a fan. And his wife wants to put 4 can lights in the living room. So I got to go to their house Sunday and put in some can lights and pull 2 more switch legs. He's going to have 2 lights on one switch leg and 2 lights on the other for one side of his living room and the other, because one end has their big screen TV on the wall, and then you got the ceiling fan in the middle, of course. And then he wants to have 2 lights, or she does, not him, her, wants 2 lights over a table that's in front of them, when they watch TV and shit. So I'm going to be doing some can lights Sunday. Maybe next time you go live, just hit me up before you do. And I'm pretty sure I've got you on, let's see here. I'm pretty sure that I followed you. Anyway, it should give me a message letting me know that you're on at some point. Anyway, man, I've been almost an hour on here today. That's pretty unusual. Of course, it is Friday. I had to go get some gas on my way home, but it's raining right now, nasty and overcast. And it's not so much cold as it is like 55 is when it's breezy. It's when it's breezy, it's kind of chilly out. But anyway, folks, I'm going to take off. I've been on here almost an hour running my mouth about absolutely nothing. Well, not about nothing. You guys want to hear about some of my car stories and some of the things that I've done. Okie dokie, Mr. Lebowski. I'll let you have a good rest of your day. I got to go get an x-ray done. Okay. Well, good luck with that, man. Make sure they put that lead thing on you on your x-ray. You can't go out of there without your hair, right? All right, Mr. Bag of Meat, take it easy. Ashley, I'll talk to you later. Hey, the rest of you guys in there that have just come in, I've only got 3 viewers. I know who 2 of them are, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm here usually. If I miss Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I try to make up for it on a Tuesday or a Thursday. You guys check me out sometime. Go look at some of my videos. Subscribe will be down there. And then double tap the screen to like my video, please. You guys have a good day. I'm sorry you guys came in late, didn't hear, but go back and watch my video again from the beginning. You'll hear some cool stories about cars that I've driven. All right, y'all take it easy. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a good weekend, and y'all stay dry out there. All right, and warm. Bye.